Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Oxygen Not Included, where in the previous episode we were distilling some algae because, well, if we don't have that we don't have oxygen, which means death. We also were exploring over here, which I'm going to go ahead and say that it is pretty much not fit for purpose. Let me cancel that bit there, and then put in some ladders because otherwise people are going to start to suffocate, I feel. Also, I probably want to dig out more of this stuff. I want all of that coal, all of that, that coal there, and because we're digging out all of that, well, we're going to have some steps going up. So that is, I believe, the right amount. Yes, that's fine. I'm going to cancel that section there and then run a ladder down like so. Excellent. We could probably get rid of some of these ladders as well. But anyway, I digress. So in this episode, I want to do a couple of things. In the long-term goals section of the campaign, we really want to be refining this oil. So we need, in refinement, the oil refinery. That does output some natural gas, which means we have to then sort that out and blah, blah, blah. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. Another thing as well is, and it's sort of tying into what I want to cover in this episode, we need to produce some fertilizer. And the fertilizer also has a problem. It outputs natural gas. So we can combine both of these things and output natural gas in the same building and then put it all together. But that means a lot of pumping, which is going to be another issue. And this is also filling up as well. But one thing at a time. So this over here, liquid reservoir, is our closed loop lavatory system. And although the water is sieved and is clean, it does have some germs in it. So if it is consumed, it will give them food poisoning. We don't want that, so in order to, I guess, fix the problem, we need to do something with this water. We could try and get the germs out of it. Normally you would use, well, like boiling the water to get rid of the germs or whatever, but I have another option, and it involves me going to deconstruct and then deconstructing everything along here. Actually, we're not going to deconstruct that because I quite like that building. Let me just cancel that deconstruction. But we are going to deconstruct everything across here and go. And the reason for that is I want to put in a farm. Specifically 2 farms, because at the moment these are just mealwoods and they're in a farm tile. And mealwood, if we click on it, hang on, here, you can see requires temperature between 10 and 30 degrees, pressure 150 Gs minimum, atmosphere is oxygen, polluted oxygen or carbon dioxide, and requires dirt. It doesn't require water. However, we want to put in something that will use this water. So we're going to put in hydroponic tiles. If we go over to food, we do have a hydroponic farm there. And then as part of that, we'll grow probably bristleberries, because I think we've got some of that. But they also require light, and we can also use some farming, a farm station as well, to make it not just a room. We do have a greenhouse there, which doesn't give you any bonuses to morale, but it does give you the ability to use the where is it? It'll be in refinement maybe? Or no, stations, the farm station. So produces micronutrient fertilizer to increase plant growth rates. Excellent. Let me just go over to our food and then hydroponic tiles straight across, because currently Traldo is stuck there because they're an idiot. There we go. So I was going to speed up to max speed, let them crack on with all of this building. I like the way that they're standing on top and then deconstructing and then dropping down. That's very, very special of them. This tile here, you know, well, this is the center of this section. Why they're not building this? Let me set the priority to level 6. Level 6. Get it done. Get it done. And we're going to do the same over on here. Hydroponic farm. Straight across. And then we'll need to do a couple of things straight away. Firstly, you notice that when we just remove this, there's no power over on the refrigerator. That would be quite bad if I didn't fix that immediately. So there we go. It is now fixed immediately. Priority will be increased to 9. Actually, let's just get that done, because quite frankly, 183,000 calories going to waste would, well, that would be bad. I'm going to actually cancel the building of some tiles here, and the reason for that is we just don't need the type of tiles that they are. We just need standard tiles going. Actually, no, we'll probably use mesh tiles. Mesh tiles would probably be the solution. Mesh tiles like so. Mesh tiles like that. And then a pneumatic door. Either side we'll put the stations that I mentioned. And there you are. Right. So they are cracking on building that. Like I say, we really do need the refrigerator power back on. It just says unrefrigerated food there, so it's, yeah, something to note. Home Luxuries has now been completed, which means it's one little bit of research to go on before we max this out, which is glass blowing. Yes, glass blowing, which we probably won't do. Certainly at this stage, I can't see it being on our agenda. And someone is scalding. This is also something that I really want to sort. What I want to do is dig down here, across here, then up this side, and have this as a full big cool steam vent water reservoir, and we'll remove all of this slime. Problem with that is it's a huge monumental task. Speaking of tasks, actually, what I also want to do is dig down with a ladder to there. I want to uproot that, and uproot that. I will also uproot that one there as well, because these wheezeworts will be probably required for around here, which we'll see that later on. So we do have a printable, so we'll check. We have a pinch of pepper seed and 3 other people, but what I'm looking for is someone with... No. What I'm looking for is someone with the reduced oxygen use trait, but they don't have it, so I'm just going to print out a seed. In terms of skills, we do have some we can go around there. So Marie will go for astronomy researching. Liam, tidying and plumbing. Improved construction for Travaldo, Hassan, masterwork, decorating, and Stinky will go for super hard digging, and there we go. Next morning, they'll all crack on. Looks like Travaldo is hurt, so we are going to put them in the bed here. We might as well put all 3 people that are slightly injured in there as well. Currently, we still have that unrefrigerated food. I'm just waiting for them to crack on and do that. That says missing tile, but it's not. You can clearly see it's there, so I don't know why it is stating that. Priority has been set to quite high. This is now going to level 5. We are going to change it as standard to level 6 for all of these farming tiles. That's just our general rule of thumb there, like so. But the level 9 is for the building, which I think is important to get that. Certainly get the refrigerators back on. Without that, we'll having a lot of problems. Ordering the mover, all that. Some stuff to move there. Same over there. And that is going up a lot faster than we thought. There we go. Right, so we need to set these as blossom seed. Life cycle 6 cycles, requires light, which we haven't got put in yet. Temperature good, between 5 and 30 degrees. Oxygen, polluted oxygen, or carbon dioxide atmosphere, and water, which we'll get from there when we put that in. But that's not put in yet. Let's have a quick look to see how far they've got. One more section, that's now in. So, no longer is the food unrefrigerated. This is good. That is also a problem. I don't know why that's that missing tile. It's definitely in. I'm going to deconstruct it. Because that one's working fine, the crown molding on that one. So, that's now removed. We'll go over to furniture, crown moulding, corner moulding there, place that in the corner. Obviously this being our really, really cool grand hall. Really useful. These are now in. And we will start to plant some of these berries. I'll copy the settings. Copy it along to there. Same thing on this side. You might notice I've not put one there. I actually will cancel it there and cancel it there too, for reasons that I will explain later on once we've dug out these. Well, basically, we're going to put these wheezeworts in there because that'll cool the area down, because you can see it's 27 degrees, 28. It's hovering around that area. If it ever goes 30, they won't be able to be grown. So, now that those have been ordered, we're just waiting for that to go along. We're going to go over to our lighting here. I'm going to place some ceiling lights in. So, I'm going to place ceiling light there. Ceiling light in... there, and then there. Doesn't really matter too much, as long as they've got lights. I've got a gap of 3 there. That's covering all of them, plus a little bit here, which we don't need, because these sections here either side, if we go over to our stations, we're going to put a farm station in. And the farm stations speed up the growth. Now that that's been placed, we need to figure out what we're going to do with this water sieve. So, We currently have the water going very, very high there, but we want to output that water through a valve and use that water up. So we'll go over to plumbing and then to a liquid valve. We will rotate the valve around to, say, that direction there. And then from that, we will have, apparently, colony achievement earned. I'll check that in a second. The pipe going up to there, coming up and out, and then right up to this section, and then right across, and that will hydrate all of that. Colony achievement earned, it's going to be cycle 100, and I don't think either of us thought that, that was going to happen. Reach 100, cycle 100 with at least one living duplicant. Yes, none of our duplicants have died, which is surprising. I don't know if they can die from old age. I don't know if that's a thing in the game. I must confess, it's a state I've never really experienced in the game. Mainly because the colony doesn't last that long. I think this is a record. I might not be a... No, I think I have gone over 100 once. I'm not sure. Anyway, so we are producing all of our stuff there. We've got all of this ordered, just waiting for it to crack on. I'm just going to double check our priorities. Level 6 for all of the farm tiles like so. And there we are. And as you can see, they're now going to place all of this stuff in. These need irrigation. They also need lighting. And looks like they're cracking on to do all of that. Our calories will go down, but eventually, once the bristle blossoms are growing, we will then be able to make some gristle berries, which will say do forever. And it's 1,600 calories as opposed to, well, pickled meals is 1,800. So I don't know if the berries... Oh, you get a bristle, you get 2,000. So you get a couple more calories out of it. But it's just good to try these out, and it also fixes the water problem that I mentioned. There you go, you can see that is now shaking, which is disconcerting. And all of the water is coming along, filling the pipe up first, but also going into these tiles, and then they will start to grow. And as you can see, this is now slowly going down. It was originally 2 in the red, now it's only 1 in the red there. This is good. Excellent. We don't have any seeds available for all of these, which is a bit of a problem, but we will get there eventually. From this side, we will say wart seed, plant that, and we'll do the same on that corner there, like so. Actually, I can't plant it because they have not yet built this. Let me cancel that, because it looks like they're going to be able to get that seed anyway. I will have to dig along to this section here, like so. And to get the other one, but from there we'll say the wart seed and plant that, and that has a requires fertilization as well. Phosphorite, there we go. So that's now getting fertilized, and it's outputting cold because it has a status of chilly breath. So there you go, cooling effect. Excellent. So it's going to cool this down so it won't go too hot. Speaking of too hot, that's pretty much what's happening around here. So immediate problems: this salt water, that's going up. More major problems, probably this. We need this to be a solid reservoir because we just haven't had it done properly. So it's going to go along. It's going to go up to there. And we'll cancel that section. We'll do the same up to there, or down there and across. And that will put water everywhere, obviously, but it's not too much of a problem. We'll deconstruct that and then place a tile in there. Change that to level 7 just to get it done, and then we'll dig out the rest of it, and I'm going to put a cap on it. So this is behind a barrier, so we don't get all of the basically the heat coming out a lot. Gas vent overpressure. Oh yeah, because of the pump from there. Yeah. Okay. In terms of oxygen, very good. Power overlay is good. Resources though. Algae, not so bad. How are we doing over this side? They're cracking on with it. You can see there's loads of stuff to get, but we just haven't got there. Haven't yet gone over to the cool steam vent. Haven't bothered with that. I don't think we will. And as you can see now, we have the wheezeworts and we have the farming. And you can see they are using this sort of nutrient dispenser. And they're fertilizing that micronutrient, so it increases the speed of growth. Excellent. So, that has now been cleared. Actually, we're going to probably just put the mesh tile back in there. It will take some time for them to go over to this side. I'll say airflow tile actually to there. I do want to dig out all of that. Currently, we have no research. We've just completed... Oh, heat stroke. Who's got heat stroke? Ellie. Okay, so Ellie Straight to the bed, please. And get yourself rested up. We want to go to research, and we can see glass blowing is now complete. I mean, I could go for jetpacks, but really, what's the point? I think instead we'll go for... Is that advanced caffeination? Yes, an espresso machine. Okay, we'll build an espresso machine for some beverages. So, also Stinky looks to be... He got some heat stroke as well. We'll just assign everybody to the cots, because we might as well. There you go, we got the wheezeworts in. So they are wheezing and outputting cold, which is good. This will obviously take some time to dig up to there and get all of that. So we'll just wait for that to be completed. But it does say that we have some skills. That's the colony one. Duplicate skills. Yes, Rowan. And we're going to go for more farming. There we are. So, we have ordered the construction of stuff around here to finish that off. This is getting dug out. We'll be able to get to the end and then up. And I think what we'll probably do is deconstruct that one there, and we'll deconstruct that, and we'll then build right up to here. It will require, I think what we'll do is we'll deconstruct that and that one. And instead, what we'll have is a mesh tile there. Pneumatic door. Do we want a pneumatic door is the question. No. See, it's letting the heat through. That's the problem. It's 34 degrees there. I don't really want that. Instead, what I want is a manual airlock there. Deconstruct all of those. And then at the bottom, I don't mind having a pneumatic door. There you go. Scalding. Yes, very warm indeed it is. So, that's now getting sorted. Ladder. Down. And then the fun begins digging all of this out, basically. But I think it's been a long time coming. Okay, we should probably mop up the liquid spills. There's a little bit of water in and around there. Some has probably gone down here, and yeah, you can see it's mixed in between these bits here, but it's not too much of a problem. That is becoming more of an issue than I thought it would. That's lots of salt water from the saltwater geyser. You can't turn it off. So it's probably going to mean... it's probably going to mean... getting the desalination plant in. By the way, I've removed these bits here. I'll show you for a reason why. Choose a blueprint here. We've got Rust, Harold, Frankie, or Otto. Immune to food poisoning, but increased air consumption rate. No, they're out. None of these are good. I don't really want Rust. I'll go for Rust. Guess. That's the best printable, is it? Brilliant. The reason I'm removing these ones is because we have an acorn arbor thing. Oh, we have to remove ones either side. And they are arbor acorn. A plant that produces arbitrary branches that can be harvested for lumber, which means we can burn them and get we can get some stuff. We can get some power. Plant that there. Plant that there. And there we are. Right. So that has been ordered. Looks like they are going ahead and building this. Hassan looks to be extremely hurt. Hassan there. And Devon. I think we're going to have to put a suit lock around here to go into this section. I don't think it would be unreasonable. So, looks like that has been ordered to be built, which is fine. From this section I want straight tiles, and this wants to be tile as well. All the way across. Like so. I'm going to deconstruct that, and that. Some of this as well. Reason for this is, as I said, just trying to make it less garbage, to be quite frank. I don't know whether that has been a little bit successful at doing this, but there you go. Oh, that's not... Oh, that's actually fine. Yeah. So then come in there and across. And hopefully we're not going to have the heat going there. Obviously you can go this way. But that's fine having the bottom bits here. So, dig out the top layer of everything, like so, and we'll keep working on that. Keep working that way. Tiles will go along to there. Automatic door there. Don't we need that? Actually, not that we need that. It's just going to take more room, isn't it? So, has that removed anything? Don't think it did. No, we didn't have our electricity cable. Didn't have any plumbing. Didn't have any gas. That's fine. Just working on all that. Just make sure it's fine. For this, we'll probably deconstruct some stuff. I think we're going to move a lot of this stuff. We're going to have multiple layers of the pitcher pumps, different height for as the thing goes up and down the water level. Liam looks to be quite hurt there, and Devon as well. And who else? Bert. There you go. Doesn't take long for them being there to be seriously hurt. Let me dig out that. I'll dig out the front bit first, otherwise there could be some issues there. Looks like the water level is going down. Obviously, we can use this water to put it back in the system if we end up outputting more water than we're using in the system, so that's fine. Don't have the wart seed in there. We also have the ability to place some balm lilies and the thimbleweed seed, but the problem is the balm lilies, you can see that they require an atmosphere of chlorine, which we don't have. The thimbleweed seed we can grow, but they require polluted water. Now we do have that, but we don't really have it. We have it in abundance actually in here, the polluted water, but we are skimming off first. It's not a problem. We can take it from this side. If we look at the plumbing, we can actually take it to there and then output it up and around and probably do it up there, but you know, that's a future us thing. Eventually I'm probably going to put another row of farm tiles in. I'm just keeping an eye on our calories, that's all. So as you can see, they are going ahead doing all of their thing. They're trying to repair that. It's because of the overheating. I don't know if we can make that out of something else. Let me check that. We'll go over to... it is in plumbing, isn't it? Yeah. Pitcher pump. We could probably make it out of that rock. Increases the overheat temperature. That's probably the best way of doing it. So we're going to dig out all of that. We're going to order the digging out of this. And this top layer, basically. Full top layer. I mean, it's an effort to do all of this, but I think it's worth it. We've got a lot of polluted oxygen as well. I'm going to put some proper stuff in. And eventually what we're going to do is seal it off there. Probably best on putting a ladder down to there. There's Max quite hurt. Oh, everybody's currently sitting here and resting up. Can they get across? Yes, they can get across. I was going to say, hopefully removing that, they won't kill themselves, but they're not. They're going to get hurt. Hence why there's loads of alerts going off. But we should be fine. Right, who is hurt the most? Max is almost dead. Right, Max, why don't you get out of there? Right. This is too dangerous to do this. I'm assuming Max, being on death's door, will not go in there. But then we know what these duplicates are like, because Turner's almost dead as well. Right, I'm going to put Turner in that bed there. And who else needs treatment? Who else is hobbling around? Ari. Well, that was a task I wouldn't relish on anybody. So, we're very close to getting that sorted. We just need to deconstruct these bits. Actually, I might leave it in. I need to deconstruct that, cap it off, have a ladder down here, and then probably that'll be alright. We'll see. Going to get rid of most of this. So once all this is removed, this is going to drop right down. There we go. Right, so cycle 103, just under 160,000 calories food-wise. Some No germs, 11% stress. Just going to check our report. So, reduction in calories, increase in germs, reduction in stress, oxygen generation in the negatives, actually. Power wasted, only a little bit of power. We do have some algae, 5.1 tons of it. Obviously, we are using the algae distiller too, which is good. That is becoming a problem. The salt water is going right up. Don't know what I can do about that. Right, so we're going to dig these out. We'll order the removal of all of that. And we'll do the same thing to this section and basically just chip away at it like that. And then, actually, all of that can now be ordered. I think we can remove all of that as standard. And then it's just this top bit. Let's see, I think we're going to have a ladder going down here. Oh, Rowan, you are so hurt. You really, really don't want to be going elsewhere. Well, you don't say you're going to go down there. No, you're not. You're going across. I was going to say going in there would be pretty much instant death for them. I'm going to deconstruct that pitcher pump. We don't need it. I'm also thinking of getting rid of that gas pump. The original intention was to pump the gas into there. It's 34 degrees though, so it's actually not that hot. Yeah, I think we're just going to deconstruct it. It doesn't work. Idea was... Actually, I don't know if the idea was sound, but we had an idea. And what's May doing? Why are they, like, glitching out? I have no idea what's happening with them there. Move to there. Don't say they're stuck. Why are they stuck? There's no reason for them to be stuck. Move to there. They're stuck. Really? Oh, they've got heat stroke. Could that do it? Current errand is dig. Well, unless I fix this, they're going to die. Deconstruct that ladder. Let's change it to priority 9. Well, priority get it done. I'm just hoping that removal of something will help. Right. Then construction of the ladder. Like that. So even though it's max priority, they're not doing it. So I think we're going to have our first death. There we go. May suffocated to death. I'm sorry, I don't know what I could do about that. They got stuck and were just sort of shaking back and forward, and that was it. We ordered this to be done as quickly as possible. Didn't do it. Bit of a shame, that. Not too sure what else we could have done. Either way, I guess we're going to leave it there. Next episode, I guess, monuments of some kind. I believe we do have a gravestone, do we not? Tasteful memorial. We do have memorials. I don't know where to place it, but we'll place it somewhere. Either way, interesting. We have got this done, and you can see we now have these bristleberries, so that's good. We have no wheezewort yet. Have they not finished digging this out? They haven't even started digging it out. So we have this recycle system done, so we now have 2 farms. Yep, they actually are designated as greenhouses, which is good. And then we also have this, let's say, recycle system going up and round and all of that sort of thing. So, pretty good. And then, obviously, we started digging this out. Bittersweet, though, with the death of our first duplicate May. And there you go. We will leave it there. Next episode, we will crack on, see what we can do, and hopefully that won't happen again. As always, so we have enjoyed the video and the series thus far. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.